For Honor was an amazing thing that was coming out. It was going to be new, it was dynamic, and everybody was going to love it. Um, well, everybody did for a short amount of time. And that's what I'm here to talk about. It just recently became free on the PlayStation Store, which actually triggered me to talk about it. Not like triggered me as in like, made me upset. Just playing it on PlayStation and not at Xbox as I used to. If you watch my Twitch streams, there was 2 or 3, I think. Yeah, no. There was only 2. That were strictly just for Honor and really nothing else. I got really into playing For Honor when it first came out, especially. It was a new style of fighting game that no one had really made yet, and it was, the grind actually wasn't like it wasn't a Destiny grind, it wasn't a Division grind, it wasn't, go grind this so you can play this to get this and grind that to do the next thing. It was grind this to get your playstyle, or grind in general to learn how to play the game. Then it was grind to get the gear you want that has the stats you want. Then it was grind to get the gear to look like how you want it, so that way you can get it to do the things you want, and you can change that over later. That was something that was very, I don't want to say dynamic too much, but it was new. Definitely hadn't been done before. No one had really taken the time to really make a game that it was different every time you played it. Yeah, you had people repeatedly, not repeatably, what the heck, repeatedly do the same thing over and over and over and over. Like, you have your raiders that would charge run you off the cliffs, and you'd have your warlords do the same thing with their shield. And it was very new. It was very, how do you say? Oh God, it was very different. It was not necessarily different because it was, something new. It was different more so because it looked good. It sounded like, had a good sound to it. Like, a lot of people don't really look at that, and I'm definitely one of those people that I do. I look at that kind of stuff. If a game doesn't have a good, like, I don't like the sounds that come with it, I probably won't play your game. Like, if the noises that come with your characters, or with your shooting games, you have annoying reload sounds, or the clicking of a hammer cocking back on a Glock, like stuff like that really bothers me. It's like, what are you doing, But stuff like that makes me not play the game, or not want to play the game. I probably still will on good games that they, where the actual play of the game is good enough to cover it. And it had pretty much everything, it didn't have a whole lot of bad that there always is. Like, with Rocket League has its own toxic community. Black Ops has always had a toxic community. Call of Duty in general, it just has a toxic community. It's not really even the fault of the people, it's just that's the culture that's kind of come up with Call of Duty. But there's always those problems with different games, and they have, you're not always going to like everybody you run into, kind of thing, so you gotta make friends where you can. For Honor was really good about just being good to its people. When it released, it had such a huge amount of such a huge player base. Like, already, I remember the server shutting down for like an hour so they could fix it, because no one, not only could no one stay connected, one, which is a problem they still have, I think, but people were like, they were flocking to the game as if it was, the greatest thing that, had happened since sliced bread. But people were flocking to it because it was popular. People wanted to play it. They found their niche, definitely inside of the multiplayer, and where as like with Call of Duty has its multiplayer. Everybody's first person shooter. Run around and kill each other with guns. Well, this was like I don't really know how to describe it. Like third person, go around and slaughter each other, and people just loved that. It was different, and they hadn't seen it before. They loved that, but the problem with it was, again, no one could stay connected, and that was their only problem for a long time. And people were, disconnecting at the end of a match when they were, 11-2, and so they did try to compensate for that and try to give people not necessarily their money's back, but like they try to give them their try to compensate their reward. And that was pretty important to me. It showed that they were going to really try to take care of their players. And then it became free on Xbox, and that was in my brain the worst thing ever. They could not have chosen a worse thing to do, because that's when for me it all dropped off. People put in hundreds of hours into this game, and they got dumped on because it became free on Xbox, and then kids were like, crying because they couldn't beat people that have been playing the game since it came out and grinded for all this gear and all these stats and all the stuff that they worked hard for. They had taken away from them, had stripped from them, which is why I stopped playing the game. But it's free on PlayStation now. As many of y'all know, if you've been watching my videos for a while now, you know that I don't have my Xbox currently. It's, that's part of the reason I'm not playing it. But I'm gonna give it a try. I don't know if you guys are gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I really just don't know. I don't want to spend an hour talking about this and talking about something that may not even stick. Not the point. The point is like he had this big fan base, and you guys just took a dump on it and said, you know what, we don't care about you guys. We don't care that you spent $60 to $100 to pre-order our game, and we don't care about you. We don't care about your time and effort. Like, here's the thing about video games is it's just to kill time, but that doesn't mean that it's not important time. I don't know a single person that said, hey, it was just a hobby, and you know what, it doesn't even matter, none of it was important, none of it was this, none of it was that. Nobody has ever said that. Not a single person that I've ever talked to that's played a video game has ever been like, that time didn't matter to me. It's always, I made friends, and we had times, and we made these jokes, and all this stuff happened. It was this, it was that for us. But it seems like these gaming companies that are supposed to be making these big games don't care about any of that, and that's something I want to start fighting a little bit. I want them to realize that we're spending our time on their game. I want them to realize that, hey, you can't just step all over us just because you make a game that we like. That's not going to happen. But the only way to really do that is to, not play their game. And that's something hard especially for someone who's trying to make YouTube videos, of what people like, because people like new stuff. They like being on the forefront of watching all this new stuff come up, and people come to watch your videos because they want to see it before they buy it, kind of thing. And that gets hard, being a YouTuber, when you're trying to fight this stuff. You're trying to fight these trash games made by trash companies that don't care about anybody but themselves and just making cash cows. I don't want to spend too much time talking about that, though. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do my best to make sure you guys get a good chance to see if it's really worth picking back up for yourselves, or If not, then we're not gonna waste our time with it. We're gonna move on and say, you know, it was fun, but we'll try again next time with the next game and see if it's gonna be like that. If it is, oh well, you know, it's just we're gonna have to keep fighting this, and hopefully you guys. I do want this to work out. I do want it to be better. I do want all of this stuff either fixed or to be worth it at least. That's what I'm looking for, is it to be at least worth my time and putting you guys through the suffering of watching a 10-15 minute video. Oh my god. Um, I don't want you guys to feel like, oh man, wow, we sit there and watch this and, you know, it's not even worth it. Well, if he's going to keep playing it, he's not going to be here. So this is all for you guys and just trying to help you guys out and give you something to watch, give you something to laugh to. I don't usually like to make heavy videos like this, so hopefully you guys will continue liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends. So this has been RoyalCamoGaming. I'm gonna continue to play this, but this match at least. If only I could turn